this all circles us back around to people and the weirdness of our current lives. I think too, because now everything is Burger King. Everything is have it your way. I think too that in my opinion, this is strictly my opinion and not the opinion of Smoove Cosplaya, is that I think it has kind of eroded our ability to communicate. Because I always give the analogy, when I was a kid, we would have like one ball. And I grew up with 5 first cousins. And 4 of them I saw relatively frequently. We played together a lot. And so we would have the one ball, and they would come over, and we would have to have a conversation about what are we going to do with the ball. And even if we said, okay, we're going to play kickball, there would have to be then some negotiation, and there'd have to be some give and take. And you'd say, well, at my house, when we play, if you get hit, you have to sit out the next round.
Gotcha. And
then we'd all have to agree that's what we're going to play. Or even if you're playing Monopoly, what happens when you land on free parking? Is there money under there? Because, if at my house, if you had to pay jail fines and stuff like that, it went under free parking. And if you landed on it, then you collected the money. But because now everything can be so customized, from your smartphone, your TV, how you take in entertainment. I think that's kind of eroded some of the ways in which we communicate with each other, and there's this lack of give and take.
Yeah,
because people get very focused on, no, I want it my way.
So if you don't do this my way, we just gonna part.
Right, and I'm gonna be mad on top of it.
Not just, okay, we ain't gonna do anything, but we ain't gonna do anything. I done unfriended you.
Yes.
We don't talk anymore. I don't F with you no more.
I done got big mad.
Right.
I have erased you digitally.
I'm getting all these gems on tape right now, like for real.
Because I am done with you, and so I have made you no longer exist in my world because I can do that.
All because I eat jam and you eat jelly, or all because this next thing is a legit. I never had to enforce it, but this is a legit roommate deal breaker. If you use the same spoon for your peanut butter and your jelly,
what's wrong with you? Were you raised by wolves?
Right. I'm like, either we not gonna be roommates, or I got my own jelly in that refrigerator and don't touch it.
I have this thing. I'm a Virgo, so I have all of the assorted Virgo sensibilities, and I have this thing about crumbs and cross-contamination. There need not be toast crumbs on the jelly.
Yeah.
I most definitely don't want to see. Here's my thing. If you're putting those peanut butter and jelly little monsters, just buy that nasty stuff that comes in the jar where it's all in one jar.
Who came up with that? What that?
Probably somebody like you and me who can't deal. We want them to use one utensil. They got one jar. They can keep that mess together themselves.
Right.
Quit contaminating it for the rest of us.
Exactly.
So yeah.
'Cause I don't want jelly in my butter. I don't want peanut butter in my jelly.
No, I don't want little specks of nothing. in my. I look down in the mail and I'm like, what is that?
Like,
it's in there growing now.
Right.
What are you doing? But now I gotta ask you, do you keep the bread in the refrigerator?
I do not.
I kid you not. If I could just convince people, the bread does not have to be in the refrigerator. It doesn't. It doesn't. If you push the air out of it, it won't get moldy. It won't.
Yeah, that I knew. Like I would take when I get done, I would squeeze, without squeezing the bread itself, squeeze enough air out of there.
Make a little vacuum, y'all.
Like, spin one good time, so that way, like, it would be as tight as possible, and then tie the thing at the very bottom. My first college roommate would like just leave the air in the thing, and then when I very kindly, and I'm
raised by wolves.
I'm kind to a default sometimes. Like I'm a recovering conflict avoider, so I approached him as kindly as possible about that. He was like, "Hey man, you kind of telling me what to do," and I'm like, "How are we?" And he said that kindly too, but I'm like, "So how are we gonna get past this? You not leaving air in the bread so that way our bread lasts longer? Like how are we gonna work this out if I can't make a suggestion to you?"
I had a roommate that tried to leave me a Post-it note.
All the passive aggressiveness.
But at the same time, I don't know. I always get the thing where people apparently, I think I have a really bad case of RBF, or I've been told that I do.
What's that?
Resting bitch face.
I mean, I got resting a-hole face.
Well, because people always tell me, oh, now that I've met you, you're actually really nice. And I'm always like, this is my face. I hope that I'm not looking like I'm feeling on the inside right now.
I always felt like my mom would say to me sometimes, like, don't look up, don't be looking like that. I'm like, I don't know what my face looks like right now.
But sometimes I am wondering, what does my face look like right now? Because like things will happen and I'll be like, what does my face look like right now? I got
self-conscious like that with my dancing, because like salsa would be my favorite thing to do in the world. But I would have a just straight face on as I'm doing that. I'm having the time of my life, but my face doesn't express it.
But it's like, well, I guess in salsa, that's probably one where you're supposed to be looking all expressive, whereas maybe like mambo or something, you're supposed to be looking all... If you're performing,
I would say.
Or tango, you're probably supposed to be looking all...
Right. But yeah, I would say like if you're social dancing, like you're not really performing for anybody, you're not trying to convey a story or a feeling to anybody else watching, you're just doing your thing.
But how can you be doing your thing? Because you're very good at your thing. So you're always putting on a show. Even when you don't intend to.
I guess, like, and the crazy thing is with that, and this goes with cosplay too, like, I never liked attention. I put up with it now. I know how to handle it and not let it paralyze me. Go to
your head and make you a bad cos famous person?
Wait, what?
I said, let it go to your head and make you a bad cos famous person.
Ooh, we gonna come back to that.
No, we're not, because I've never encountered those people. I've seen people accuse certain cosplayers of being a certain kind of way. But at the end of the day, I think that's because people forget that they're people. Yeah. And people get hungry and they get tired and it's their job. So imagine if your job was every weekend you spent all week packing up a whole bunch of stuff, and then you drag that stuff sometimes across a continent, sometimes to the other side of the globe, and you get there and you're now supposed to entertain like 20,000 people, but you're tired because you just packed all this stuff up and you just tracked 10,000 miles on 3 planes and you went through customs, all this kind of stuff. All those things make people, and we're all people, those things make people tired and irritable. And you didn't get food or whatever, and you just met 20,000 people last weekend, and here's 20,000 more people, and no, you might not remember that 100,000 people ago you met this person. Even if you had like a really awesome conversation with that person, you might not remember them. And so, but I've heard tell of people being overbearing or some kind of a way, and I think that's unfortunate, but I think that's just personalities. Yeah, and I've like you, I've never met these people either. It's funny, like I don't know if you caught it. It started on Twitter because it was about not responding to, but I saw somebody else kind of sharing a similar horror story, like this person. I think the main theme of that one was that somebody would treat the poster with respect, but then that same person would disrespect somebody who had a lesser following than them. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I saw a bunch of those, and I've also heard a few stories of like some of my friends interacting with people, and then the person, like, if they find out that the person doesn't have the biggest following or their costume isn't up to snuff, they just kind of give them the cold shoulder. So I kind of made a tweet talking about, hey, it don't matter how big you are, you not like a legit. Oh, I did see that. Yeah. So, I saw the fallout. Yes. I saw the resulting fallout. Right, and the crazy thing is, nobody came for me on Twitter. Right. Nobody came for me on Instagram, but people, because. So I posted 2 screenshots. One was the first tweet, and the second screenshot was the other 2. And the first one kept getting retweeted. I mean, not retweeted, but shared from Facebook. Nobody was sharing the whole thing. Of course not. Like the whole thing got shared like maybe 60-something times. That one picture got shared like 1,500 times. Well, here's my thing. I think the conversation, as I saw it, because I came in the middle of the fallout, I think it's twofold. I think that there's a lot of people that like to pretend that they're not trying to be cos famous. Own your dreams. If you're really out there and your whole goal is that you want to have a legion of followers and you want to be able to sustain your life, and you want to be able to make it a full-time job or whatever, that is fine. Yeah. Don't pretend that it's anything other than that, though. Right. Don't be out here trying to have the same conversations about, oh, I'm just in it for the fun, da-da-da. No, you're not. Yeah. And be real about it. Be real about it. And, for instance, I don't do just legions of refollows. Yeah. I go and I look and I see, what is this person about? Same. Yeah. Is this somebody that, for instance, you can't like post trash some of the time and then I'm gonna be okay and we can be friends.
Right.
Because no. If I wouldn't be friends with you socially, like for reals, I'm not gonna give you numbers on the internet either.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm not, I'm never trying to like round up followers because that's my thing.
Yeah.
I'm out here having fun. If people follow me, that's great. I like people. I like teaching. I like when I am streaming more so because it's just an outlet for me, and I like to be able to answer people's questions. Because I remember when I was making like my first set of armor, no one wanted to help me. And why did no one want to help me? Well, a lot of it came out to straight up elitism because there was the only people that I really knew of were from a particular fandom. And that particular fandom has many, many groups that encourage screen accuracy. Yeah. But they are also very tight-lipped about how certain things are accomplished. And I would ask people and I would kind of get blown off. I think I got blown off for a lot of reasons, and some of those reasons were because I'm black, some of those reasons were because I'm a woman, some of those reasons were because people were gatekeeping and didn't consider me to be worthy of it. Well, you don't seem like you're desperate enough, hungry enough, I think you're just a casual, whatever it was. And so I was dismissed.
So if you don't stroke my ego, I'm not going to help you.
Right. Plus, why are you asking me this? But I always kind of feel like if I'm creative, you could walk out the door with everything in here today, and tomorrow I can still make something else.
Right.
In fact, when you're on your way out the door, I'm probably making up the, my room made off with all my stuff song, because I am able to do that. So those things don't define me. Yeah. And so I think people get very caught up in this idea of, I know something that you don't know. And these are my fans, and this is my persona, and I don't want to share that with you. You're not worthy of it. I had this really awkward conversation several years ago, and it came up again a few weeks ago. There had been a photo shoot, and it was a photo shoot of similar characters, and somebody showed up, and some of the people at the shoot weren't Gangsta-ling, there you go. Some of the people weren't as receptive to some of the other cosplayers that had showed up. Just because of the quality, the style of their costumes or whatever. My feelings on that are, if you are promoting, hey, we're doing Super Smash Brothers, right? And it's at a convention and you throw it up on the wall, then everybody that shows up that's wearing something that's relatable or obviously from Super Smash Brothers, those folks get camera time. It's just that simple. You can't be sitting around talking about, those people are black and that character is white. And when we start getting up to the whole canon thing, and they've got to look like this and they've got to look like that, well, I got news for you. The ratios on all comic book characters are ridiculous. You don't know anybody. I don't care what you think you know, what you think you saw. You don't know anybody that matches those specs because human bodies just don't.
Exactly.
You can't be a size 2 and have like a 32 double J breast and stand upright and definitely not go out and kill anything. That's not going to happen. But there's this belief that you can, and so you get people, and it's unfortunate because I hate to say it's part of the human psyche, but I think most humans, they want to feel good about themselves. Yeah. And for some people, it is very difficult to find that place of satisfaction within themselves. Right. And so it then becomes a double-edged sword because they're constantly comparing themselves to other people and feeling poorly about it. Yeah. And then at the same time, some of them unfortunately get into a habit of tearing down or criticizing other people because then it makes them feel that they're a little bit higher up on the chain. Yeah. Well, my costume isn't as great as X's, but it's most definitely better than that one, that one, and that one. And I'm just like, why?
Right. So
why?
Right. And it pains me that people have to do that to feel better about themselves. But they're not looking at the big picture like, okay, your costume is better than those other people, but as I was kind of alluding to in that tweet, and I hate when people outside of the hobby say this, but for some reason I feel the need to say it within the hobby because people, like, we just out here playing dress up. Yes, yes, we got these skills, it means a lot to us, and I'm not knocking that. But don't let that go here.
I think too it's a bit weird, and I'll be honest, and some of you heard me say this, and I I'm an open book. There's some things that I don't readily talk about. If you ask me about them, I'll put it out there and I don't care. But one of the things I talk about is I think that there are people that they might live it a little bit too much. But I feel the same way kind of about people that go to conventions. I think that there are people that go to conventions, and then there are people that go to conventions.
I saw that coming. I was like, yeah,
I'm always a bit fascinated at people. Like, I was amazed. There were thousands of posts about whether or not Peachtree Center was going to be ready for DragonCon. Peachtree Center, the food court, and those restaurants exist another 350 some odd days out of the year.
Yeah.
DragonCon, about to let you in on a secret, y'all, because some of y'all in here probably don't know this. Get close. Check it out. DragonCon is not even close to Atlanta's largest convention.
Get out of here.
I know. There's 6-figure shows all the time. Some of them about stuff like scanning chickens. Go look that up.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. Well, Scantron is this big convention, and it's all about scanning. And most people, you think about scanning, you think about the big grocery store. No, one of the biggest things that they scan are like chickens. And yeah, because farming is a corporate thing now, and you've got millions of chickens. Well, how do you keep it with the millions of chickens? They have little tags. Those little tags get scanned. Yeah. Anyway, shows like that come to Atlanta year round with hundreds of thousands of people. And they take up all of the hotels in Atlanta, not just the ones along Peachtree Street.
And they clog up that longest escalator in the world coming from Peachtree Center MARTA Station.
They don't all eat in Peachtree Center. I would encourage some of you not to just eat there. I never eat there. I haven't eaten there in forever.
Yeah, because I used to work there. That's how I even got into this whole thing. So I saw that thing 5 days a week. I'm not eating there, especially not with a longer line than normal.
It's weird. I used to work at the Hyatt. Even when I was going to DragonCon, there were years that I actually used my employee thing to stay at my home hotel. But yeah, I never eat in Peachtree Center.
Wow.
And you can too get an Uber. And sometimes they don't even charge you like the surge cost. I escape DragonCon on a regular. I would encourage some of you too. If you're at DragonCon, like I always tell people, if I'm missing an action at DragonCon, I'm decompressing.
Yeah.
Because it's like a lot of people, and there's a lot of noise, and there's a lot to see, and it's a lot of fun. But at the same time, I need little breaks.
Yeah.
So I like catching Uber, and it's amazing. Some of you might not know this, but Atlanta has lots of really good restaurants that aren't in Peachtree Center. Mary Mac's has become a regular stop during DragonCon. I had me a whole.
Where is that?
It's on Ponce.
On Ponce, okay.
Across from where the old spaghetti factory used to be, right down the corner.
Oh,
they have kind of like Southern home
there so long.
cooking.
I didn't realize it was gone.
Oh, the spaghetti warehouse.
Is it near Poppy's?
It's across the street from Poppy's. I go there too.
Poppy's is a wonderful place. The only reason I probably never go to those is because I probably spent so much money parking there that I'm not trying to leave.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I usually stay on site.
Yeah, I'd like to. That's my first choice, but I don't always have the means to do so.
Yeah,
but I'm saying, like, if I'm an introvert at heart, so like I'm a friendly introvert, so I love the interaction, but I gotta get away from y'all at some point.
Which is rough because I too am an extroverted introvert, and people are like, "You're an introvert," and I'm like, "Yeah."
I just got extroverted hobbies, basically.
Yes, that, and I can be very friendly and engaging if I know you.
Yeah.
And I'll talk to strangers, but it's really not the same thing because I like my time alone. I'm also an only child, so I can completely spend time by myself and be okay with it. And that's the other thing. Like a lot of times, other people say, "Well, I went to this thing and I was uncomfortable because there weren't people that looked like me there."
Yeah.
And that's usually my last concern when I show up at anything.
Right.
Because I'm always just like excited to be there. And, I'm always like, what am I going to learn? What am I going to see?
Right.
I'm not usually thinking about, are there people here who are concerned about my presence because of whatever factor. But I realize that other people, it's not the same for them.
Yeah.
But, as an only, my only competition is myself.
There you go.
So I'm never worried about you. Never ever in the history of ever am I worried about you. At the same time, I'm my own, I'm my own worst competition. And, I'm my own hardest critic. So, yeah.
The perfectionism is in ourselves.
Yes. Wow. Which makes me slow. So, I think my greatest complaint is that I'm always worried that I'm not as prolific as a lot of the other builders and costumers that I know. But at the same time, you know, if it made it out into the world, I don't own myself or somebody else, then that meant that I was finished and I was satisfied with it. So that's always a good feeling.
Yeah, and that's one thing I try to get across to people. Like, as long as that person was okay with it, then it's cool. Like, people will leave these comments, or like I even posted my updated version of Rude from Final Fantasy VII. So I basically was getting, I had free money on Amazon because I won a gift card. So I was like, okay, let me see if I can cram all of this costume into this one little bit of prize money I got. So I put it together. Everything was cool. Some knucklehead came on my Instagram and said, just explain this. Inaccurate. Those shades are slimmer. And I'm like,
who are you?
Blocked. Didn't even respond, just blocked. Because I'm just like, and people always, oh, you can't take constructive criticism. I'm like,
no one asked you. So here's the thing.
Nobody asked you.
Constructive criticism is something that someone asked you for. Otherwise, you're just dropping in my DMs being an asshole.
Right. And just because I posted it, that is not automatically a request for constructive criticism. No,
as I always say, do you like drop in and be like, oh, Jane, when people post those selfies, they're in the car on the way to work, they're like, I look cute. I was like, do you drop in on those people's posts and be like, is that acrylic?
Right.
You got flyaways.
Yeah, I feel like the people who, because there will be people who will say, oh, well, if it's on the internet, then you have to accept my critique. You have to accept my... No,
just like every opinion that you have does not have to be voiced.
Right. I was just thinking about that the other day. Like, people, y'all hear this out. Your entitlement to an opinion does not entitle you to also share it unsolicitedly. It does not entitle you to not be challenged on it.
No.
So if you state your opinion right now, I'm entitled to an opinion too. So I'm entitled to have an opinion about your opinion.
Yep.
Which means I can have the opinion, show opinion sucks.
Yep.
And if people want to pull I can't have an opinion card as soon as they say something sideways. And
no, you can have one, but if you voice it in public, expect that there actually might be people who rebuff you. Right.
And so for you to say, oh, well, I can't have an opinion, you're actually intruding on my right to have an opinion, because you're telling me, oh, I can post my opinion, but as soon as I say it, y'all can't have an opinion about it. Y'all realize how backward that is?
No, but that's like vague booking. When people post like vague things on their Facebook, and then they get irritated when people like comment. And I'll admit, once or twice I've been like, no need to comment. I'm just putting this out here to make myself feel better.
But you put it up. But you put that up there.
Right, I put it straight up there. If you just throw some stuff up on your Facebook, especially a lot of times people will throw up. And I'm not saying throw up as in like, I know that you didn't do it casually, but a lot of times people will post things on Facebook that are clearly something that has been emotionally challenging for them. And then they get irritated when people offer either, some effort at consoling them, or they perhaps offer them suggestions for, alleviating whatever this hurt is or whatever this challenge is. And people get irritated, and I'm like, okay, then why did you post it on Facebook?
Don't use social media as a diary. Get you a legit diary if you want to like get stuff out and not have somebody say something about it.
Well, I'll be honest, and this is probably gonna make me come off as looking like really kind of callous and mean, and I don't mean this, because I realize that mental health is a very, very serious concern.
Yeah.
But I have backed away from a lot of groups on Facebook because they have become these open forums where people are constantly venting or they're reliving a trauma or whatever. And I think that there are probably groups on Facebook that have people who are more suited to helping you with that than, say, for instance, in the middle of a a homemade Play-Doh group. Right. And I always worry about these people, because I'm kind of like, okay, do you not have people that offline that you can share these things with? And sometimes I do post things that it's because there's really nobody right here right now. I'm by myself and I'm feeling very frustrated, and so I'm posting this thing. But when I do it, it's because I'm posting and I know that I have actual friends on my Facebook that maybe at this very moment, it's the middle of the day, and I am seeking somebody to validate me and my feelings about this point or whatever. But at the same time, I think that there is this random reliance that some of us have on the opinions of complete strangers.
Yeah.
And then, weirdly, there's complete strangers who feel like they should be able to say anything to you and it should be okay.
Right.
Just because you posted something on social media or there's a picture of you. And I'm always amazed at the people who... And I try to be, and I think I do a good job of it. If I'm not, please come and tell me. But I try not to post pictures even asking, what was this person thinking?
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, no, I have no idea what this person was thinking either way. It's, you know, they've got something on, they were doing something, they were caught in a moment. It could possibly be out of context because that happens with photos and video or whatever. You have no idea.
Oh, so you mean like posting a picture and then the caption behind, what was this person thinking?
Yeah. Because I'm always kind of like, usually it's nothing.
Yeah,
If
you don't
there's
know
I can't remember, what's the name of the website where it tells you it gives you the, like basically where this meme originated from. Because some of them are completely out of context. Like the one, I think everybody has seen the one of the black woman and she's got on the glasses and the pink blazer and she's leaned over and she's squinting forward.
Yeah.
She literally just doesn't see that well. It wasn't that she was thinking about anything.
But it turned into something.
It turned into like 8 million other things. But I think what she wrote is that she was looking off in the distance at a friend or something like that. And so she was kind of like, you know, what's happening?
Somebody has cosplayed her.
Right. Yeah. Or like, I always get the one of the blinking guy. The guy where it like zooms in on his face and he's blinking like, what the hell are you talking about? And he actually kind of sort of was thinking that because apparently he does a vlog and they were interviewing something and the guy was talking about some new thing and he was just kind of like, what? But not in the way that people use it now. Yeah.